We are back, and today I'm going to be taking a look at your hot takes and what I think about them. So I compiled a list of hot takes that I found going through my Instagram, my TikTok. I asked people to share their hot takes. If you want to be involved in conversations like these and opinions like these to be featured on videos, make sure to follow all those down in the description. And let's get into it. The first one is actually from my uncle. He says that Citizens Bank Park, the stadium that the Phillies play in, has become overrated. And me personally, this might be biased, but I like to side on the side that thinks it's a little underrated. When people talk about what is an elite stadium, is a great stadium, it mostly talks about backdrops and what is the view from the outfield, what is the skyline you're seeing. So you see the Giants, you see with the river right outside, home runs being hit into the water, stuff like that, like beautiful stuff. You see the Pirates Stadium, PNC Park, with the bridge right outside. You see the Houston Astros Stadium with the railroads and the warehouse. You see the Camden Yards, the Orioles Stadium with the warehouse backdrop. Same with Petco Stadium, the Padre Stadium. And I truly feel that Citizens Bank Park is up there with those views, right? You get the skyline of the city in the back, which is hard to do, and it's such a great look. You have the Liberty Bell, which is one of the best home run structures that makes noise, moves when you hit a home run. It's better than the Mets Apple. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore. It was better than the Marlins. They had their little fish structure, which was really cool. But it's better, and they just do it so well. It's such a cool thing. They just put in a big jumbotron, so it looks super cool. Another thing is, I've been to 3 MLB stadiums. I've been to Fenway Park, I've been to Petco in San Diego, and I've been to Citizens Bank Park. Seating alone, Citizens Bank Park, the seating is more accessible to get to than other stadiums I've been to. I think around the stadium is easier. The whole flow of everything's easier. I might be biased. I haven't been to too many stadiums. 3 out of 32 is not that much. 30, 32, however many teams. It's not that much. But I truly, I can't say it's overrated. I really can't push myself to saying that. So I'm going to have to definitely disagree on that one. Now we have a few from my friend through Instagram. She put a good amount of ones, so we're going to go through a few of them. I think these are really good. So first one, the Sixers only have one more chance to win a ring. After the 2023 season and the 24 season, there's no more hope. Yeah. When you're talking about when your superstar of your team is Joel Embiid and he's going to enter his 30s, and you're kind of hitting that ceiling of what you can do with him as your top player with the numerous teams you built around him, it comes to a point where it's going to run out. We've seen a lot of teams run into that brick wall of just trying, and it's not working. It looks like James Harden's going to come back. They'll try to add a few pieces. But, you're looking at PJ Tucker, who has great impact when he's playing, and he's going to be your starting four. I think it's unlikely that Tobias gets moved off that contract this year. I don't see much change that's going to happen with this team. Not much that can be changed. We don't have too many draft picks. So I think if this year goes bad again, which as everyone's getting better and we're staying stagnant, seems pretty likely. And I could see Joel asking out after that to get his ring. I could see Harden leaving after that. I could just see the era closing. I thought there's part of me that thought it was going to end this year. I thought Harden wouldn't resign. I thought he would go back to Houston. Thought Joel would possibly ask out because he seemed pretty out of it when it got down to the wire. And, there's people he would love to play with. It's just rough. It's a good team, but we obviously have not been able to go that far. So I would probably bet on this being it. I was kind of confident last year being it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised. But I feel like they're going to start to build around Maxey pretty darn soon. And we'll see what that looks like. We'll see. We'll see. WNBA one. Las Vegas Aces are a super team that will absolutely choke when it matters most. It's a bold claim. They've looked pretty unbeatable. They have like 7 games where they won plus 20 points. And if you look at the 2 super teams right now, you have the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces look, in my opinion, far and away the better team. Cohesive. And granted, because the only reason I don't agree with this take is because we've seen them do it before with basically the same team. We've seen them run through the league with this team, and now they're just adding Candace, who has clearly fit that team well. As much as I would love to agree with this take, that it seems a lot more likely that would be the case for the Liberty because of how many new faces they have and how much they rely on solo performances, it has seemed. Now, they're winning games, but, you can kind of poke more weaknesses. Like Sabrina Ionescu hasn't been on the floor. She's been missing some games. She's been on the floor, but she's been missing some games. So, and she's inconsistent in general. So relying on that could be a hole for them, but I just don't see that with the Aces. They're just all so consistent, all so good, all so cohesive. I don't see them faltering. In the playoffs, I think they go to the finals pretty easily. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot ways to go in the season. A lot can go wrong. So we'll see. We'll see. I have one more for my friend, and that kind of connects to one I got from TikTok. So, she said Devontae Smith should be widely regarded as a top 10 receiver, which is, it's such a tough statement. It's such a tough statement to make when you talk about how many top 10 caliber receivers are. I got one from Beyond from TikTok. They said Michael Pittman Jr. will be a top 12 wide receiver next year. It's so tough because when you talk about the top 10 wide receivers, here's how I put it. There are a lot of top 10 caliber receivers, but as far as who I will put in the top 10, it has to be limited, right? So this is in no particular order, but like you have Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, obviously up there. You have all these guys, a ton I'm not even like naming because I'm not good with off the dome naming. But like all these star guys, like DK Metcalf, it's so hard to fit everyone in that 10. And as much as I would love to see Devontae in that 10, I think he's top 10 caliber. It's just so top heavy right now. Especially like DeAndre Hopkins, is he top 10 still? I think that's up to debate. So will he get there? I don't put it past him at all. Is he there now? If I would make a list, he's probably not there. Although, again, I think he's on that tier as those people. It's all confusing when there's such high talent in the NFL as far as wide receiver goes right now. Same thing for Michael Pittman. I think he's a great wide receiver. Do I think he'll be top 12, top 10? It's tough to say. Again, he could thrive with Anthony Richardson. It'll be his first like serious passer. I don't think he played with Luck. No, because this is second year. So yeah, I think this is his first this will be his first hopefully serious quarterback. So we'll see. I think they should be regarded as top end receivers. Do I think they are in the top 10? Not at the moment, but anything can change. Breakout years can happen. Devontae Smith, he's had breakout years, but it's just tough. It's really tough. So let's go through some other ones. Let's go with some baseball. Barry Bonds. This is from. I can't read the name, but I'll put it up there. It will be up there. Barry Bonds was a top 5 MLB player ever, even without the roids. As you know, Barry Bonds hit 700 home runs. He hit 70 in 1 year, 70 something. But all that was kind of disregarded, and he was unqualified from all of that in the Hall of Fame because he was on steroids. And everyone was on steroids in that era. I personally, I think he should still be in the Hall because the greatness was there. And I don't know. It's a tough discussion. Me personally, I'm able to see the greatness past, being on steroids during that time. So I think if we're it's so hard talking hypotheticals, but if he doesn't, and if no one in that era was, I think it would still be the same thing. Do I think maybe he still hits 70? Maybe not. Probably not. But I think he's still up there as a top player in the era and in baseball in general. I don't think the steroids gave him the talent he had. I think it enhanced it. Sure, because that's what they do. But, I'm not. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think his record should be stripped. Because you would have to strip a lot of people's records from that time that you probably don't even know about, that they won't. So, that's just my opinion on it. I don't get too upset over it. But yeah, I think he should still be top 5, probably. It's tough. Again, there's lots of players in that category, but yeah. Yeah. And we're getting 2 new in this generation with Mike Trout and Shohei. So, who knows? This was from Hugo. Dwayne Wade and LeBron in Miami were the best duo in NBA history. It's so tough to say that because we've seen so many because there's no way I'm putting them past Shaq and Kobe and what they were able to do. If you in this time, Wade was already he wasn't in his peak anymore, right? He's slowly starting okay, my time. I probably only have a few years left of high-end basketball. This is the time to win. Let's get Bosh and LeBron in here. And it's I think if they teamed up in 2007 or when they were both young and both in their prime, I think they absolutely had that potential to be that. But in the time that they did, it's hard to say only 2 championships because that's hard. But I can't put them past Shaq and Kobe. I can't put them past Kareem and Magic. They didn't do enough with what they had. And again, the surrounding roster wasn't fantastic. I'm taking all that into account. But it's just tough to say that they were the best ever. When it felt like there was so much left on the table that they had within reach. You'd think they would at least have 2 more. So it's rough, but I would put them in top 5, maybe top 3 all time. But number 1, I can't do it. And I love LeBron. I love Dwayne Wade, but I struggle. Austin Eckler is not a top 10 running back from user 957 blah blah blah. I agree. I have never been a huge fan of Austin Eckler. He's a receiving back who can get some yardage. He's not. When we saw in that Chargers Jaguars collapse where they were up 27 points and then lost, it seems like they didn't feel like they could run the ball. And because when you're up that much points, you just run the ball into the dirt. That's what the Eagles did all year. That's how they had these big leads in the second half, and they didn't score much in the. They scored so much in the first half, and didn't need to score much in the second half because they just ran the clock out. The Chargers couldn't do that. They kept passing because they didn't feel like he was a guy who could run the ball into the ground to run the clock out. And I think his skill set is extremely useful, but when I'm talking about the full package of receiving and a rushing back, he doesn't fit everything for me, and he's not one that I can put in the top 10. I would put a lot of running backs above him. I respect what he brings to an offense, but as far as top 10 running backs go, I don't see it. I've never seen it. Let's go one or two more. Carter says Lamar Jackson will never win a Super Bowl or even get there. His play style will never allow for that. The whole thing is like a Russian quarterback can never make a Super Bowl. And, well, we saw Jalen Hurts, who, when he came into the league, he was just seen as rushing back. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And it's like, one, they can develop into passers. Two, the threat with your legs as a quarterback is now becoming a necessity in the league. It's becoming a norm. So when Lamar was coming into the league, that it wasn't as common as it is now, and that wasn't that long ago. We've seen a complete flip. If you don't have mobility as a quarterback, you're not going to be touted as highly. That's just what the league is now. So to say that his play style won't make a Super Bowl is kind of crazy because how he has changed the league in such a short time. And we see when Lamar is in the game and when he's out, the Ravens look vastly different. It's a night and day how he can transform an offense. And now they have fired their offensive coordinator who is just run. And they got a new offense coordinator. They got a ton of wide receivers. They got, you got Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham, Rashad Bateman. Just all these guys, right? And a whole new offense is going to be transformed, right? It's going to be really, really cool to watch. And I'm just excited to see him in the offense because whether you want to admit it or not, he has a cannon of an arm. He has a beautiful throw, and he can throw. Oh, I forgot about Mark Andrews, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. He has weapons now. He can throw better than anyone in the league. I know you hate to hear that, but it's true. So this year I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a Super Bowl. So I think, and again, it's really hard to make a Super Bowl. It's not just about is your quarterback good or not. It's really hard. So I'm not guaranteeing him the Super Bowl, but can he? 100%. 100%. And the last one was from my brother from Instagram. He said that he thinks the new rules in the MLB with the pitch clock and everything is better. And I think that just depends on what you're looking for in baseball. I think I'm very anti-pitch clock. I've been anti-pitch clock since it's been introduced. I don't like how it rushes up the game and takes a lot of strategy out of the game for me. I don't like how when I want to go to a ball game in the summer and I feel like I'm being rushed, I feel like I can't go get some food and come back and two innings didn't pass. I like being able to take my time and enjoy myself. I like to watch a baseball game for an entire afternoon. I like to see the routines of the batters as they step out of the box. I like to see the traditions of how the crowd reacts because it's not rushed. And I get the appeal of wanting to hurry up the game because the biggest complaint in baseball is it's so long, it drags on. And this helps. It knocked like 30 minutes off the average time. So I respect that. I think that's great. I just am not a fan of the side effects of the bad calls, the bad rules that have come off of it. I think it's damaging the game a lot, and I'm just not a fan of it, and I won't be a fan of it probably. I don't think it's like the NBA play-in tournament where I was very against it, and then I ended up loving it. I don't think that will be the case. I'm annoyed. I don't like it. I think it's ruining baseball. I think it's ruining the experience. But that's just me. That's just me. So let me know your opinions. Give me some more hot takes. We can do more of these videos. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know what else you want to see. Until next time. See ya.